Entertainment news today is such a dragon gay. Everything sucks and it's no good that comes out of Hollywood. But there's one place you can go to get all your news and info, and maybe even have a laugh or two. You know it's true. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark. All those bombs and flops, but need never stops. We will keep going through the night as we keep up the culture fight. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark.
Greetings and welcome everybody to your favorite show on YouTube. Whether you like it or not, it's Midnight's Edge After Dark with your host, me, Tom Connors. We have CC Karaoke coming in via satellite from Canada. It's another country, folks. So don't be alarmed by his accent.
No, it's where the polar bears live. And we live in the igloos. Polar bears don't come inside with us. Not usually.
No, they like the cold. We also have Andy Masterson here, the toy man himself, the master of disaster and toys. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm from Jersey here, where we say we drink water instead of water.
You from Jersey?
South Jersey, not to be confused.
South Jersey?
New York. Right next to Philly.
There you go. So you could be Ben Grimm.
I think he's up in North Jersey. He's
Oh, is he North Jersey? Okay. Yeah. Well, how you doing? How you been?
Pretty good. Not too bad. Like sweating it out. Got a new puppy.
A new puppy?
Yep, got a new puppy.
Do you have any pictures you can share? We like puppies here.
Let me shoot one to you. I'll shoot them through you.
Yeah, I like puppies. Puppies are
adorable.
Puppies are awesome.
He's
the show.
6 months old.
We stop everything for puppies around here. Just so you know.
Is it a warm weather puppy or a cold weather puppy? Because
yeah, that's
talking to my friends, like,
hair.
I love huskies, and she's like, not in the 100-degree heat, you don't.
Yeah, he's pretty short-haired. He's
right.
Not quite. Well, here's the two of them playing together. I just sent you one on Twitter, Tom, on the group chat there. There's the two of them playing.
Oh. I got you. Aw. Boobies. See if I can make it bigger. Oh, yeah. There we go. As Culture Casino says. Here we go, folks. Sorry about that. There's the little puppies. Aw. What kind of pups are they?
They're just mutts. But they're my mutts. They're great.
Mutt pups.
Yep.
Aww. Well, thanks for sharing your mutt pups with us. We appreciate that.
That's Colby and Jack. I know it's a little cheesy.
Hey, you can't go wrong with cheese.
Wow.
I'm from Wisconsin, so that's clever, sir. Very clever indeed. So with that, let's get this show on the road and get the ball rolling, as they say. We got the Tweaky Kid 44444. How you been? He's been here for 5 months as a member. Says, evening panel. Crazy how F1 is pretty much the only enjoyable blockbuster so far this summer. Well, I know some people have enjoyed some of the other ones, whether it be Jurassic World or Superman or F4. But yeah, I mean, F1 seems to be the one that everybody who saw it seemed to like. I haven't heard one negative review yet.
I mean,
when it comes to
it's
that.
Happy Gilmore too, just a straight to video. It doesn't really count as a blockbuster.
Well, we're going to talk about that. It's funny you asked that very question because, frankly, the numbers on it, which we're going to get into and all that kind of business, that's the question to be asking. Could it have been a theatrical release? Now, I guess to answer your initial question, I usually count them as no different than a straight to video, like we used to back in the day. Straight to cable or straight to video, straight, in some way, not theatrical release. So yeah, there's that
fair.
stigma. But I think we may have some opinions about that coming up here, so stay tuned for that. But we also have another super chat from Go141, number 6, who sends in 20 Mexican dollars and says, Tom, did that Pedro tart make you feel fruity? It did make me feel rather. Yay. Indeed. Yes. So yeah. And Doba Feta says, if Final Destination Bloodlines counts as a summer blockbuster, most people are like that. Didn't that come out in like April though? I want to say that one's been out for a little bit. Maybe if it came out in May, I guess you could. And I think it comes to HBO Max here in a couple weeks or whatever. But yeah, there you go. We also have Jason Webster, who sends in $5 Australian, says the Pink Panther, 1963, A Shot in the Dark, 64, are classics, and Peter Sellers iconic as Inspector Clouseau, still trying to mess with perfection. Well, that's our main topic of the day, so why don't we start there? Yeah, because Eddie Murphy is, I guess, playing the new Inspector Clouseau. Now, he has been attached to this project now for about 2 years. And frankly, I was hoping it would have just gone away.
Yes, one can only hope.
One could have only hoped. But, so he was on the Today Show this morning, and, he's going to be the new Clouseau, and let me see if I can find the spot here in the interview.
Yeah, do we have any pictures yet, or is he just talking about it?
Okay. I can just show you where it comes from. So this is where everybody's getting it from. It come from the Today Show this morning. I think it was.
Get ready to do a George Clinton Parliament Funkadelic. I'm getting ready to do George Clinton. Already started Shrek 5, and I'm Inspector Clouseau in the next Pink
Wait,
Panther.
what?
Yeah, I'm the new Clouseau.
You're the new Inspector Clouseau?
I don't think they've started anything yet.
Clouseau.
Now, are you French in this?
Maybe. Well, he has to be French, but he could also be Haitian.
Oh. Uh-huh.
I will tell you, he's black. He's black.
We know he's black.
He's black.
So there you go. There's the new Inspector Clouseau.
Did they plan that, do you think? Or did he just trip over it and kind of accidentally let it slip for real?
No. Like I said, I looked back at it because I was like, didn't we report this a while back? And I think we did because like this was first announced like 2 years ago. That he was in talks.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's
it's like there's so many things that never actually happened.
Exactly. Like I kind of forgot all about it, and then all of a sudden, so him kind of saying this tells me because what it was in context. Like the part we didn't really quite see there was just Al talking about all his upcoming projects. So it sounds like that's something that's in line right behind the George Clinton deal, or he's shooting it just before or around the same time ish. I don't know because he's like you said, he's in the middle of recording for Shrek 5 right now and all that business. So. Which you'd think, I'd have thought they'd already had the recording done considering they did that announcement trailer. But hey, maybe it doesn't take as long to do animation anymore. But I don't know if you guys are big fans of the original films. I'm fans of them. Andre's a real big fan. Andy, are you a big fan of the original Pink Panther films?
Yeah, I used to go see them with my dad, and I had a great time with them. And I think it's one of those things where certain actors own a role that you're not going to improve on top of them. And Peter Sellers certainly did that with Clouseau. I think we've had a couple remakes or attempted reboots with something like The Son of the Pink Panther, and nothing ever took off because it's just it's like trying to replace Arnold, but it's not Arnold. It just doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, and then not only did we have The Son of and The Curse of the Pink Panther, which were two other characters, we also had the remake, of course, with Steve Martin, which also got a sequel. And I was not a big fan of those, even though I guess Andre did kind of like the second one. I don't know why. But yeah, Clouseau is one of those characters that, I mean, Peter Sellers, I mean, what are you going to do? You're either going to do your own thing or you're going to do Peter Sellers, which was kind of what Steve Martin was doing, was kind of doing Peter Sellers, I guess, but not.
I was excited to see it when they cast him. I thought, all right.
So, okay, so
You
CC,
could
are you
pull
a
it
fan
off.
of the series? Yeah.
I mean, I'm
let's go
not
to
a
you.
big fan of the series, but I've watched it, right? And I mean, I was let down by Steve Martin, even though at the time when he was cast, I thought, okay, this could actually be a really great casting. So I mean, I think about, you know, The Jerk. It's one of my favorite movies, right? And he is one of my favorite comedians. But at the same time, that's why I'm willing to give Eddie Murphy a chance here. I know I feel like he could actually pull it off. Now, Willie, I mean, Eddie Murphy's not always great, but he can be great. So, I mean, I'm not completely turned off by the announcement, I'll say that. But it's also kind of the same way as Steve Martin could have and didn't, as well as I would have hoped for. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
You're not. There's no point in trying to replicate Peter Sellers.
Well, I mean, there might be a way to kind of do a legacy sequel of sorts, like if you want to do another son of or grandson of or something like that. I know Andre's brought up like Sacha Baron Cohen would probably be a good replacement. I agree. There's that other guy that people have brought up too. I'm trying to remember. Wasn't he in that French guy in Life is Beautiful or whatever it was? I can't remember his name, but
Depardieu?
anyhow. No, the other guy, the scrawnier guy. I'm trying to think of his name. Somebody in the chat will probably remind me. But no, like Eddie Murphy's probably one of my favorite actors, if not my favorite actor of all time. I mean, if you ask me with a gun to my head. And in this case, I just see it as a mismatch because what I see here is we're not going to get Pink Panther. What we're going to get is probably something more like a Fletch clone. And what I mean is they'll have him come in and he'll be French or Haitian Inspector Clouseau, but his gimmick will be more so he does, you know, like so they can get him in a bunch of disguises like Fletch, and so it'll be a mix between like Fletch and Nutty Professor and Norbit probably is my guess. So you can have Eddie come in and do a bunch of different, you know, characters.
I don't mind a little
Robert
bit
Tone,
of that,
yeah, that's who I
but I
was
don't
thinking of.
want too much of it. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, Clouseau. The thing with Clouseau is he's so inept and stupid, but he's not. What's the word I'm looking for? I mean, he's not so much of an idiot as he is just. I mean, obviously they got the slapstick elements of his humor. His
Well,
oblivious,
exactly, yeah.
because he's not
That-
aloof. He's more oblivious is a better word for it. Yes, because I was trying to think of the word, and then because the humor stems out of a lot of like, you know, Naked Gun-esque type scenes for him where, you know, he'll do something and it'll, you know, elevate to another level, and usually somebody else is his foil, even though he's not the Bugs Bunny in this situation, right? He's more of, I'm trying to think of a character that's similar to him, but there isn't really other than a Clouseau. Like Clouseau is almost like a blueprint for this kind of character, right? Like he's enduring, he's his heart's in it, he's doing the right thing, and he's not a complete fool, but he's a bumbling idiot when it comes to trying to do his job, but he always ends up bumbling into doing his job. So, like, you know, and there's people around him that he constantly is just driving nuts and stuff like that, and that's kind of part of the charm of the film. But there's a lot of folks who are kind of disconnected and only think of the actual cartoon Panther when they think of the Pink Panther. And to me, I when I first remember hearing about this, I'm like, okay, are they just doing like, and this is probably when we first heard about it 2 years ago, it's like, well, if they're just doing like an animated Pink Panther movie and they're just having Eddie Murphy do the voice, that's fine. Eddie would be great as far as the type of attitude, and because the Pink Panther's never had a voice. He's never spoke, but at the same time, does he really need to? Because one of the reasons he's such an internationally known character is because he doesn't have to be dubbed, right, when they did his cartoons. So I'm curious to see what they come up with here. I would have probably preferred them actually go to the route of just doing some kind of animated adventure with the Pink Panther himself and Eddie just doing the voice. But
you know, in this year, I really like to see how Eddie Murphy feels when someone comes along and does the inevitable Beverly Hills Cop reboot.
or 48 Hours or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
one of his classic iconic things, and see if he changes his tune. Like, wait, you can't improve on that.
It's not his first remake either, right? Like, I mean, he's struck pay
Nutty
dirt already
Professor,
between Nutty Professor and Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah,
But then he's already had somebody else has already tried to do Dr. Dolittle again. Robert Downey Jr. did it,
yeah.
and it flopped. So I mean, look, I mean Eddie, I'm not going to count him out because he's one guy who's come back, took two franchises in Nutty Professor and Dr. Dolittle, and actually his Dr. Dolittle is the only one that's ever been successful because the original one is one of the most famous flops of history. So, but I guess we'll have to see what they come up with. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to see if he can play it with a bit of a straight face. Just kind of going off what you're saying about the oblivious nature of the character. When I think of Eddie Murphy, I do think of him just like grinning a lot. I mean, he can do oblivious, but I wonder if he can pull it off. That's all.
That's a good point because he's not. Eddie is funniest when he is the smartest one in the room, right? When he's better as a Bugs Bunny kind of character, right?
Yeah.
When he's got one up on all of the other guys in the room and generally the bad guy. That's not who Clouseau is. He's always generally a step behind, but he just manages to fumble his way into, figuring out the case or stopping the bad guy, what have you. It's not the same kind of stuff that Eddie's usually, known for.
There's the Eddie look.
Yeah.
He's going to have to check that at the door a bit.
Yeah, I'm not saying Eddie can't act, right? Like he can, he totally can.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at when he plays, in the Nutty Professor when he's the normal character. I'm forgetting his name now. Yeah, the Sherman when he's Sherman,
Yeah.
Like I mean, when he's doing that role, I mean, he's doing a lot of acting and basically, hey, Mark, how you doing?
Hey guys, what's up?
How's it going?
Hey, Mark.
Very
And then
good, very
basically
good.
once he does the change, well, then he kind of becomes an exaggerated version of Eddie Murphy, right? Like, I mean, and then the family is a whole nother story. So, I mean, I'm not saying he can't pull something off. I'm curious to see what they come up with, but I don't know if this is even a franchise that needed a reboot necessarily. Mark, you're new to the panel, so we're just talking about Eddie Murphy taking on Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah,
so
not
what's
my
your feelings on that?
not my first choice. Yeah, I was listening while finishing dinner in the kitchen, but yeah, it's I mean, great comedic actor. I heard you say, yeah, he's one of your top actors of all time. But yeah, could he bring the physical comedy and the goofiness? Yeah, but it's Eddie Murphy. I just don't picture him, playing playing this role. So, and of course, growing up, the Pink Panther. God, that was one of my dad's all-time favorites. And you were just saying, like, Universal, you didn't need a language to translate that. So, I grew up with my dad, always playing me, watching those cartoons. And then it was crazy because there's a pink house behind our house. This is when I was like 3 or 4 years old. I'm like, Dad, does the Pink Panther live there? He's like, yeah, it's the Pink Panther's house. So, yeah, it was like a fun joke we'd always see. Remember when the Pink Panther lived behind us, but God, those movies are fantastic and the cartoons, but I just can't picture Eddie doing. Hopefully it'll turn out okay. But God, the comedy in those cartoons and the movies is top notch. Sellers was just so phenomenal. God, it's so good. This Clouseau.
I mean, the only times I can think of where he's playing against the type that he normally does would be like when he was in Norbit, because he's like a nebbish little geek, and kind of the same thing in Bowfinger, but that's not Clouseau range, right? So we'll have to see if he can do it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you need a big star like this too to bring something back. Steve Martin, was Clouseau years ago, right?
Yeah.
And how long has that been? So you need someone big to, get these projects to move forward.
When
so
was that, like mid 2000s somewhere?
That was a while now, right? I mean,
I don't think the public even remembers anything. Do they even know that the Pink Panther exists? Even the cartoon.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's the Pink Panther's not exactly a franchise that has, stayed. Like we haven't had a new iteration so often, or an animated version come by all that often. I mean, I'm sure there were attempts, but I don't remember other than the Steve Martin films, plural.
yeah.
And I mean, the first one was obviously successful enough that they did a second one, but I mean, I don't know. I'll be curious to see what they come up with, but yeah.
even Looney Tunes, like where I was away at Scout Camp last week, and they have a theme each week. And 1 year it was like Marvel superheroes, so it was really easier Star Wars. And this week was Looney Tunes. A lot of the kids didn't really know, much about. They knew a little bit about Bugs Bunny, but I mean, Bugs Bunny's kind of going into obscurity too, and he's not PC enough, and you couldn't buy anything like Bugs. You're on looking for like decorations and stuff. So, I mean, even more obscure is the Pink Panther. So, yeah, kids
You're
aren't
not
watching
wrong.
these
And even my
cartoons.
kid growing up loved the Looney Tunes, and he was a Looney Tune freak. But I knew that he was, an exception to the rule. So yeah, no, and that's you're not wrong there because Pink Panther is not something that's been kept up. That was kind of my point. So we'll see what happens with this. I know you got to run here pretty soon, Andy. Did you see Happy Gilmore 2 yet?
I have not. I'm planning on watching it tonight when I get done work.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, did you have a few more minutes here, or?
Yeah, I have till about 15 minutes.
Because you just said you had minutes left. You didn't say about how many.
Oh, I didn't. Oh.
Yeah, you just said I have about minutes left.
What's the time? I'm supposed to use the other. My number key wasn't locked on. Okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
The next galaxy is minutes away too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
That's
see
sure.
YouTube and StreamYards are up to their old crap again. We got Jeremy Hembry here. So if I don't remember your exact original name, I apologize. But yeah, I'll do my best to remember everybody's handles. FF4 first foot dropped 61%. Yeah, it did not have a very successful Monday in comparison to Superman. Yeah, we'll see how it fares this weekend, but it's pretty normal for Marvel to drop off like that.
Actor is doing his best to alienate more people as well.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Just what you need when your movie's not doing as well as expected. Let's chase away some other potential viewers.
No, but it's
the William Defoe's wife video.
No,
I clicked on it earlier. I was like, oh wow.
No, that was from years ago. That's for Pedro.
Still.
Yeah, no. This is the Ben Grimm actor, Ebon
Okay.
Moss.
Really?
Yeah, this is more recent in a recent interview. Let me see if I can find the clip here. Actually, go ahead and
he wants
mark
to
that.
throw some
Andy, if you had
fascists
more to
into
say about
space.
it. Yeah, throwing fascists into space.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
As
I had it on my.
They demand that the government take action and support the companies they like. I think they're
was
missing
good
the
in the
point of
movie.
fascism.
Okay, I found it here.
He was good in the movie. I don't want it to be ruined.
I know that's what pissed me off because I'm like, God damn it, the one good fucking part of the movie.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. All right, so here's the clip in question.
There's a handful of fascists that I would just throw into outer space. That's what I would do.
Normally, I wouldn't have a problem with somebody saying something like that, but we know what he means by fascists.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Not the guy, not the painter.
No, not the painter. Anybody who disagrees with Chairman Mao is a fascist to them.
It's
I
clobber.
might have to clobber him.
You might have to. Oh, we heard it a little bit. There we go. So yeah, Jeremiah, that
Idiot.
kind of shit is not going to help the film. And then Action Com's in the house. How you doing? He sends in 5 and says, "What's funny is that RFK Jr. says Pop-Tarts should be eaten raw like barbarians did. It's healthier. Fuck you and your barbarian eating Pop-Tarts raw. That's wrong.
I
Just
eat
wrong.
them
No,
raw.
that's not. I just knew I was going to start some shit.
The Pop-Tart controversy.
Ain't nobody got time for the toaster.
I'm sitting here doing this video and I'm should I even be doing this video?
They do it live.
You lingered
like-
on the chewing part a bit.
I did that on purpose because I'm just here. There's nothing I can do because I watched these. I've caught myself watching these stupid fucking videos before, right? Where somebody's like buying, not a mukbang video so much, but like where they're testing a new fast food, like that internet kid looking guy who always has like his hair slicked back and wearing the suit, and some of the other people where they test the food all the time, the new fast food stuff. So I'm like, I'll do something like that, and they always do that. They sit there and. So I was kind of mimicking their shit. So I didn't know if anybody get really the joke. So yeah, I threw in the Pop-Tart raw thing just so I knew I could get some comments on it. I was totally just like, I'm going to play with this and see what happens. Because I've been trying to figure out things to do for After Dark that you guys would enjoy. But it looks like most people thought the video was kind of fun. So maybe we'll do some more things like that in the future. Fucking barbarians.
It's this
Bunch of
Pop
tarts.
Tarts, yellow flashes Pop Tarts. We're all popping tarts over here. Stands
What were you
your
going to say,
question.
Mark?
I was just saying, calling everyone, you're all a bunch of tarts. Retarded.
Retarded with a T. Kalikioki says with 5, wasn't the biggest fan of the outburst on George's stream between Badger and you. I know how you can be, but arguments seem to make everyone on panel uncomfortable. Look, I'm going to say this one time and one time only because I honestly don't care what Badger thinks about this because he came in clearly with an agenda. And I specifically said I was letting everybody talk ahead of me and not saying another word or, interrupting or giving my thoughts until it was my turn because I specifically didn't want to be interrupted. And that was specifically towards him. Okay. And he decided he wanted to play this game with me. And I knew it wasn't a game I could win, but I knew the only way I wasn't going to lose is not play his fucking game. So I decided not to play the game. I didn't want to sit there and get into this pissing match, which is what he wanted. Okay. So look, at the end of the day, I apologize to those who had to witness that shit, but sometimes people try to pull crap and you see it coming from a mile away. And, I don't like to be fucked with. So, and I don't know him that well for him to be fucking with me like that. Now, this motherfucker right here, this faggot fucks with me all day. See? But I love this son of a bitch here. He at least is up front with me. He's like, I want you to go wild, Tom. Let out the inner beast. He encourages that shit sometimes. And it's like, it's not a good thing always. But yeah, so my better moment was probably my rant on Yellow Flash's channel. But how you doing, Yellow Flash? Good to see you. And yeah, sorry about that, Kalikioki, but it seemed to pan itself out in the end. We'll see how it goes if we come face to face again sometime soon. I don't hate the guy. I just don't like when people are going to be disrespectful towards me and come off as very condescending. It is one of those things that really pisses me off about somebody. And I mean, get it. He was pushing my buttons on purpose. So anyhow, that's all I'm going to say about it. That's all I have to say about it. That's the only place I will say anything about it is here in my house. So I was asked about it on Valiant stream, and I said, nope, I'm not going to do it at somebody else's house. I'll deal with it here. So, yeah. Captain Phantom Nerd has been here for 45 months. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And then we have Nicholas Horton as well, who's been here for 45, and says, hail, everyone. The Inspector has always been a white guy, especially in the original animated show. That's true. Some won't like another race-swapped character. Right, and I'm not... And again, it's like, I don't see the kind of reaction we normally get to a race swap here. It's like, I mean, some people are like, yeah, Eddie Murphy's great, and he could probably do something with this, but he's not Clouseau. Like, that's what everybody's saying, is like, it's not Inspector Clouseau. I mean, I'm sure if you came up with another black actor who possibly has the right type of chops for that, maybe, but that's not the point. There's other people that you, like, how did you not try to get a hold of, like, Sacha Baron Cohen or somebody like that? It's just beyond me. Like, I don't necessarily like his politics anymore, but he is a good actor, right? And he can pull a character. Like, this is a character that was born to play, right? Like, I totally agree with Andre on that. And then otherwise, there is other people that would be better suited to this if you want to pay strict homage to the original. But if they're trying to do something completely new and different, maybe they'll pull it off. Like, because you got to remember, the Nutty Professor that Eddie Murphy did is way different than the original Nutty Professor. All it really has in common is, in its DNA, is just a few names and the basic storyline. Outside of that, the humor and all that shit is all Eddie Murphy and, modern take. And we forget that we used to be fine with remakes like that all the time. So I don't want to, like, poo-poo all over this, but yeah, I totally understand where everybody's coming from, and I won't stand for anybody saying, oh, it's racist to say that. It's like, no, there's precedent to stand on for this. And try new fantastic foreskin pop farts, says Jason Webster.
Oh, God.
I don't want to taste those. And we don't know where that foreskins come from because Ben is Jewish, So, that's right. With that, we're going to be losing Andy here in just a few minutes. So I want to thank you, buddy, for hopping in. Is there anything you got coming up on your channel or anything you want to plug at all that you got going on? I know you're usually on Doomcocks on Wednesdays.
Yeah, my channel. I should really make some more videos. I got to do that again.
I see you do live stuff once in a while, but you're usually when you're just messing around with stuff. Yeah, you haven't done much in a while, though, have you?
Well, I am working on, right now, I don't know if you've ever seen my comic strip that I did for Doomcock for my Tales of Xanadu thing.
I think I'm aware of it, but I don't know how much of it I've actually seen, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm working on a new a new storyline for that right now, drawing everything, and you may see a certain Mexican fellow on there. There may be a window involved. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I'll be working on that, and I will be on Doomcock's show tomorrow night for. We'll be going over Rocky 3 in tribute to Hulk Hogan. I'm sure we'll be talking about Fantastic Four, or the Fantastic Four impersonators, I should say. And we did Superman last week, and whatever else is out there. And we'll probably be talking about Happy Gilmore too, so I got to watch that thing. But thanks for having me, Tom.
Yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. So
yeah,
it's always nice for people to enjoy something. Take care.
I wanted
Andy.
to show you my Galactus helmet I'm working
on.
Oh,
sweet!
Yeah,
you'd appreciate.
You think you're big
That's
enough to be Galactus?
Well, I'm working on it. And here's my my Ben Grimm that is finished, but my head is too big to fit in there. But
we always want to
get those
big
painted.
head mark.
Yeah, I figured I'd show those to Andy before I ran off because he's an amazing maker, and I love being able to share stuff.
I think he's going to grab something to show you.
Probably, yeah. He's got. It's just incredible. The
Boys
stuff
and their
does.
toys.
Yeah. And this is actually a popcorn. This is actually turns into a popcorn bucket too, because damn AMC was sold out. So you can actually. This is just the first part.
It
but
doubles
you can actually
as both a mask and a popcorn bucket.
Popcorn bucket. Yeah. There we go. That's
there
even better.
You go.
Right.
Oh shit! That makes me wonder what Andy's up to with that.
That's the real Galactus.
It looks almost like a Doomcock mixed with Galactus. Uh-oh.
That's awesome.
It's a Home Depot bucket.
I know. It makes me wonder what you're up to. You've gone to some trouble for some reason. What could it be?
A while back when Disney was calling Doomcock Buckethead. So
okay. See, I thought maybe you were working on something. Now you can reuse it though for something to make fun of Fantastic Four with. There you go.
Well, I did a thing with Grok today. I had him make a fat version of Galactus. Says, "I want to eat your baby."
Get in my belly.
Okay, guys, I got to run. Thanks for having me. Look forward to seeing you guys again. Okay, bye-bye.
Take care. All right. So, Mark, did you see Happy Gilmore too?
I did. Yeah. It was good. I had a fun time. Yeah.
Tuesday's
it was free.
Gone.
Well, mostly free, right? I mean,
look away. So yeah, I even got some of the cups.
To our earlier commentary.
Yeah,
I think it could have gone to the theaters.
Yeah, I mean, these have sold out already at my local Subway. And the lady's like, we're not going to get any more. We already got our 2 boxes. So that means I guess every Subway's probably allowed 2 boxes. Once they're gone, they're gone. And I'm glad I got the main 2 I wanted, because the other 2 are, it's the new Caddy and Hal. What's his face's character?
Yeah.
What the fuck's his name? Jesus Christ, Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Because so let me pull this story up here while we're talking about it, because this did amazing for Netflix, I guess, and I was kind of wondering this myself. In fact, it's the top story on Variety and a lot of other places, because I was kind of spitballing this idea around, going, I wonder if they would have had a hell of a hit on their hands, or this money would have really jumped in and gave Fantastic Four a run for its money had they actually released it in theaters.
There's no competing comedy right now, and the original is a beloved classic, maybe more than people even give it credit for. You drop this in the theaters right now, and it gets good word of mouth, which it clearly does have. Yeah, it's gonna make some money. This is this is proof of it right here.
Mark, you're our calculator guy.
Yeah, well, I mean,
let's
on the
let's
one
do
hand,
this.
Would people get off the couch and go to the movie theater to see this?
I was going to say, let's be fair. Let's take half. Okay, let's take half that away. Let's give him. Let's say half the people that watch this movie would have never went to see it in the theater anyway. So let's just take 23 million people. So 23 million times 10 would be what?
Well, that's 2.3. 2.3 million. 23 times. You're talking about
230.
23 million times $10.
Yeah. 230 million.
Tickets are like $20 now.
I'm being nice though. I'm giving it. I'm doing better math than Zack Snyder.
Yeah. But plus, then there's the cut. The theater gets a cut. The studio gets a cut.
That's why I said $10. So let's just do a flat 10.
Right.
So that would be, like you said, 230
$230 million. Yeah, just
Are
moved
you
the zeros
fucking
over.
kidding me?
I don't.
If we use the bad math of the movie, it's probably about 263.
Wow. I could see this doing easily 100 million in the box office. Easily.
Yeah, it would have been 100 million easy. Yeah, yeah.
Because there was a lot of talk and buzz about this, and I know a lot of people were kind of confused. I remember having to tell people, no, it's not coming to theaters. It's coming to Netflix. And I'm talking about regular Joes. I'm not
I
talking
thought it was
about,
in the theater too. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
I
it's
mean,
on
you're
Netflix.
on YouTube even, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Not the YouTubers, but like I'm talking about people in my own, regular life, like my buddy, my best buddy, my whole life. He's like, when does Happy Gilmore 2 come out? I said, it's going to be coming out this weekend on Netflix or whatever. He's like, already? He's like, it didn't come to the, he goes, when did it come to the theater and I missed it or something like that? And I'm like, no, it's not coming to theaters. He's like, well, that's stupid. He was more than willing to go see it in theaters. Cause that's what I was saying is this was one of those movies where I think people would have probably gone and see it. Cause you made a good point, CC. We haven't had a ton of comedies lately. And I wonder, maybe we'll get a gauge on that as well and see how well Naked Gun 2 does. But I would say this is even more popular than Naked Gun. Cause I mean, that first Happy Gilmore, I mean, is a video classic. I mean, everybody quotes Happy Gilmore. I mean, the price is wrong, bitch. I mean, come on.
We were on family vacation over the 4th, and we watched it. Just popped up. Like, let's watch Happy Gilmore, and everyone. And it was a good movie because you could watch it with there's like 10-year-old cousins to
There's a little bit of risqueness in it, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean the dream sequence, but what the kids see on TV these days. I mean, then they made me watch Love Island after that, and I think I lost.
That's
20
probably
IQ
10 times
points.
worse, actually. Yeah.
But
go
it's a
in your
fun
home.
movie.
Don't you want to go to your home? Stupid ball. Yeah, no, I watched the first one again last night. So and even after watching the first one, because it hadn't been that long since I've seen the first one. I mean, I've seen it 1 billion times, right? So it's probably like my 3rd or 4th favorite Adam Sandler film. But
do you think that's his most popular film?
I would say it's
Gilmore?
probably from that era his most popular film. Yes,
Yeah.
hands down. Billy Madison's probably the better movie, but more people went to see Happy Gilmore in theaters, and it was a huge hit on video. And it was the one that, I knew some people who liked Billy Madison, all right, but Happy Gilmore was the one that everybody loved. Even my dad liked it. Like, my dad hated Adam Sandler.
I still love this. Yeah.
And I'm surprised he hasn't asked me yet about a Happy Gilmore 2. So, yeah. But he might actually have Netflix at the house. I don't know. My kid has them all set up with whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the clear winner on that front. If I'm thinking about all the Adam Sandler movies and which one's my favorite, I might even go Big Daddy.
Mine's probably Wedding Singer, but yeah.
But in terms of, if you ask your random person on the street what they're most familiar with, what first comes to mind, it's going to be Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big, huge number of people that tune in, though. Holy shit.
But think how much money it made for Netflix.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised by that number.
Well, the only way it really made money for Netflix, Mark, and I'm glad you brought that up, is that if people actually signed up for Netflix to see this, and I'm sure there was a big number of people who either had, let it lapse or what have you. Like, even I don't technically have Netflix, but somebody hooked me up to make sure I got to see this.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who either renewed and went back to Netflix just to see this, or even more than went. It's funny because I seen a hell of a lot more buzz for this than I did Beverly Hills Cop 4, right? And people forget how huge Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 were in the box office.
Yeah.
Of course, 3, let a lot of people down, and that's probably why there wasn't as much buzz for 4. And 4 also got some mixed reactions. I mean, mostly positive, but I was one of the people that didn't care for it as much, and I knew some others who didn't. But that being said, this, on the other hand, I don't think we'll get too deep into spoilers, but I tried watching it the night it dropped, and I watched the first 3 minutes and I shut it off because I got so pissed.
You got angry?
I got mad because of what happens to a major character in the first couple minutes of the movie. But then I was reminded again when I watched the first movie that the same thing happened to another character.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, right. Yes. Okay. So they're doing that bit, but it's not really a bit. I hate using the term bit, but you know what I mean? It's, and I hate even reflecting
plot
that
device.
They're reflecting that plot situation. Yes. And in that, it kind of also sets as a catalyst to set off everything in motion for the rest of the film. And then so I went back to the movie, I watched it, and then I watched the first one again, and I liked it better than I thought I would. And then after watching the first movie again, I think I liked it even more, or at least I seen a lot more that I missed. Considering the one big complaint I have with this movie is there's too many fucking flashbacks to the original film to remind you of jokes and shit to go like, okay, we get it. We've seen the first movie. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to, like, I feel like 10 minutes could have been cut out of this movie if they didn't have as many flashbacks. And maybe the one time we needed a flashback almost, or a reminder, isn't there. And that's the one time where I kind of was turned off. But then, like I said, I picked it back up, ended up enjoying the film. Is it perfect? No, it does have some flaws. But what it isn't, it's not a greatest hits album re-recorded by an old band, right? Like Coming to America 2 was. This is more so what we would have hoped something like The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi was. And to me, like, I mean, I always noticed like the Rocky elements in the original Happy Gilmore. I noticed this movie took a lot from, or at least it seemed like inspiration from Rocky Balboa. In that
For
respect.
sure, yep. Definitely.
Yeah, so and how it treated that character and how it treats Happy here. So Mark, what did you think of the film?
Yeah, I really liked it. I mean, it's not Citizen Kane. It's a freaking Adam Sandler movie, So, you're what to expect. But there is a nice heart to this movie, too, with his family. And, we're not going to do spoilers, but it's, from the trailers, he's, been drinking and he's been down on his luck. And so you do have that character arc there, too. But I thought the kids were all really, really good. And then when he goes out to play golf again, I thought that scene was awesome. I love that when he's playing with the kids. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to give away a good moment. But there's like a funny moment when he hasn't played golf in years and he goes back out, and I thought that was hysterical. And a lot of allusions to Rocky there. But remember when everyone said that Netflix was going to go away and Disney was going to knock him out and HBO and someone had posted in the chat what did they make, like $9 billion last year, or so this maybe it's not going to make money per se in terms of instant sales, but Netflix's stock keeps going up, and they're definitely the number one streamer. So this movie, and they have a huge deal with Sandler too, right? Don't they have a multi?
Oh yeah, he's their golden boy.
Massive, he's their golden boy. Yeah. So, I mean, and it delivered, right? If you want silly fun, I didn't like someone saying the maxi golf thing, the ending, the last act,
the third act does have a few issues. And
they're just, I think they were trying to figure out what to do and to try to make something interesting. You had like that crazy mini golf game that was on TV a few years ago, which I
what it was, and I kind of noticed this after I watched the first one again. What I think it's doing is it's kind of commenting on how like all the golfers were acting towards Happy in the first movie. Now all those folks are this is like even worse, right? Like, so that's where even other people that would normally not work with Happy or like Happy in this film actually do kind of come around to him or actually like him. Plus, he's also gained respect over the years as well.
Yeah,
but that's one of the best things about the movie, right? Is even though it shows this character at a low point, you don't have anybody treating him like a piece of shit outside of characters that don't know him or the bad guys. His family loves him, his friends love him and support him and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out because that was a good point you brought that up.
Yeah, and the cameo, some of the cameos are really good. Like Jack Nicklaus's orders, he's like, "I'll have an iced tea and lemonade," and the waiter goes, "Arnold Palmer." He's like, "No, but I do get that a lot."
John Daly was probably the best part.
John
of the movie,
Daly,
Daly. And don't forget to feed John Daly 3 times a day, and don't let him sleep in my bed. And if he does, don't let him have M&Ms.
I mean, those lines are great, and it's fun. I mean, it's fun. Like, is this movie
all
that
his kids are basically just different parts of him.
Yeah,
but then when they get all mad, they're all the same. No.
I don't know. One of them is like the Arnold Schwarzenegger body type. Looks nothing like the others.
Well, if I remember right, don't each of them have the same jobs that he had in the original movie in the beginning? He's like, I've had a lot of different jobs in my life. It's like it was a construction worker, and then
car wash
and gas station, and so I think his boys all work the same jobs he had in the original one, if I'm not mistaken. But
daughter's a ballerina.
But
Yeah,
except
and
for
they're
the
like,
daughter, which is the exception. Yeah.
yeah, and they're like, "You thought we could have gone to college, Dad?" It's
Yeah.
like, the dinner table conversations are great. So, yeah, yeah, a lot of critics were killing this when I was reading some stuff online. I'm like, "What movie did they watch?" Or just you
Well,
got to
it's like
understand
they
the target
forgot.
audience.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Finish. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say no. I was just gonna. You're right. Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like this is a freaking Adam Sandler movie, Happy Gilmore, and they have the nice callbacks. You know, they have Carl Weathers callback, and his son being in it. You know, not having missing an arm too was kind of crazy. But it's an Adam Sandler movie. But it had a good message of redemption in it, and yeah, like that Rocky message that you like to see. And Shooter McGavin was hysterical in this.
Yeah, Shooter's
The
great.
stuff in rehab, and it's just got some great twists. And it's I definitely watch it again. Maybe not right away, but if I watch Happy Gilmore, I wouldn't mind putting this on if after that is a double feature. But if Coming to America's on, ain't no way I'm watching that sequel to Coming to
Right.
America. I don't think I laughed once, and this movie had a bunch of good laughs in it. So
honestly, that you got a good point there, because Happy Gilmore comes on 4K. I'm surprised they didn't get it out this week. It would have made more sense. But it comes out in 4K, I think, next week or the week after. And when I watch that again in 4K, because I just watched it on Blu-ray, I'll probably rewatch the second one again. And you're right. Now, would I ever watch Coming to America 2 again after I watched the first one? Fuck no. In fact, I don't think I've watched Coming to America since the sequels come out, because it kind of soured me on it. But yeah,
Right.
CC, what did you think of the film? I mean, I know you kind of liked it too, right?
I did. I laughed all the way through it. And in fact, I would put this movie in the same league as the first movie. I couldn't tell you right now whether I like the second one better than the first or not, but that is probably the highest praise I can give it, is that I actually think it's in that same quality range. I would watch, if I had to think about watching it, I would watch it again. I might watch it instead of the first one. I might watch them back to back. I think one of my favorite things about the movie was honestly the physical humor. Like, I mean, some of the best parts were just like the dumb shit.
Which is
It
tough
it's
to
a-
do.
it's a-
You're right. Yeah.
It's a dumb shit movie. I mean, you know what you're getting with Adam Sandler. There's a lot of dick jokes, but there's also like some of my favorite parts are just when he's got the physical, like just his physicality is over the top. I don't want to spoil it, right? But I mean, like there's just some completely ridiculous things, and that ridiculous humor is it works because of the way they pull it off on screen. And John Daly has got to be, I mean, he's John Daly, and he's perfect for them. He's perfect for the movie. I'm sure. It's no shit that he said yes whenever they asked him to. You want to be in Happy Gilmore too? Yeah. He brought a
Well,
lot
they've
to
got
the table.
tons. Like, not only, I think somebody counted, there's like 73 cameos in this movie,
Oh,
and a
shit,
ton
yeah, I
of them
wouldn't be
are like
surprised.
30 some golfers alone, right? Professional golfers.
I'm
And that's another thing.
impressed. I'm impressed that they got all these guys to say yes.
I'm not, because I mean, I know it's cool, but like what I mean by that is Adam has had a relationship with these guys since the first film, right? Like he's been in the background. He's always been a huge guy in sports. As far as I know, he's golfed and stuff in the, on his own and all that kind of business. And I know ESPN and those other guys have always been big fans of Happy Gilmore and brought shit up over there. And a lot of those like in the golf world, the movie helped golf, right? Like not only did you have like, it was probably the peak of golf, if you think about it, between Tiger Woods go at his height and Happy Gilmore coming out and making golf kind of cool, right? Because that's the thing, is Happy Gilmore's whole point in the movie is he doesn't want to be a golfer because it's not cool to him. He wants to be a hockey player. That's cool. But in turn, what Happy does is end up making golf cool. Like even in the film, more people start showing up. It starts becoming more like an actual sport where you got tailgaters and all that kind of shit. Yeah. And the
Drinking
Ass
beer.
Fat Roller. Yeah, is the movie rated R? No, I don't think it has a specific. I don't think it's rated at all because it's on Netflix. But I would say it's in that
really-
PG-13 range. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't think of it as R. There's no like hard nudity. There's not really any bad like serious.
No F words that I
repeated
remember.
language, yeah.
Does it even say F
I don't
at
think
all
so,
in the
right?
movie?
I don't think so. It's
A lot of shits
No.
and poos and cocks and stuff like that, maybe,
yeah,
but not.
it's the right kind of PG-13. Not
It's
the
no
kind that
worse than
makes
the
you
first
groan.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there's some things that I didn't love about it. It's like not everything hit, It's not like my favorite movie of
Oh,
all
yeah.
time in that sense. I
Yeah.
agree with some of the sentiment in the chat, what we've already mentioned. I think the third act could have been tighter. We talked about that before the show started.
Yeah.
Between us.
Not to get into the
Yeah.
specifics, but there's like one character I think that could have been utilized a little bit better. And even some people brought it up in the chat, like the rules and stuff with the extreme golf thing aren't quite laid out too well. And I felt like it was kind of rushed. And because it almost feels like just as we're getting going, all of a sudden it's the end kind of thing. So
And it's like the first two acts of the movie, I don't think that I would want them to be shorter either. I mean, they were having me laugh all the way through. It was very, very snappy, and there was just some great jokes. So the fact that I almost wish the third act was longer or just a little more focused. I mean, I still enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I could have. I would have liked a little more focus there. I mean, another thing I'll say, look, this is not there's no politics in this movie. And
no, not really.
I am actually a little bit optimistic about the future of comedy. I mean, we'll see about whether Pink Panther or any of these other movies, Naked Gun, okay, we're talking about remakes and sequels and everything instead of original properties. But I'm still hopeful that comedy can start to make a comeback here. And I actually got a little bit of that feeling from this movie because it wasn't over your face, it wasn't knocking you in the head with a hammer, but there were a few subtle jabs throughout the movie that were like, feet on the ground. I don't care if this is politically correct or not,
Yeah, there was a few jabs here and there. Like, I think John Daly says at one point, "Oh, we don't objectify women anymore," stuff like that.
Yeah, when they're doing the flashback with Virginia with the beer, right?
Yeah, his happy place. Yeah,
happy place. Yep. And then he can't drink anymore, so he's like,
well, they do a good job with
happy
that.
place,
I thought it was kind of funny bit because I don't want to spoil it. So like, but yeah, what they transition to for his new happy place.
Yeah.
and then this movie handles it so well because it could fall constantly into this. Okay, yeah, and it does have the remember the time shit, unfortunately, with the flashbacks. But I'd love to see a version where they just don't have all the flashbacks. I mean, I think it would maybe be a little bit smoother. And like, I agree with UCC. The only thing that really kind of outside of the rough start is that third act and how the tournament goes and how they could have just, it feels like it's just bum rushed so quickly through. And there's certain things like, okay, so we get rushed through all these other things. And like you and I pointed out, and it's kind of the same in the first movie though, too. So it's not totally abnormal, but like, you spend a large majority of the time on the final hole, and it's like, okay, that's great, but there was so much more going on in this, and this is where Happy should have been able to dominate in this sport, right? Because this is built on his whole, because the guy who, for those who don't know, and this is just a minor spoiler because it happens right away in the movie, this guy who created this new version of golf, he says he was inspired by how Happy plays golf, and then you get more information on it later. Now, there is some stuff that I think was cut, obviously. And did you guys not notice there was a connection they never made, but I kind of figured it out just because, and it's like there had to be a little bit more to this. And that was I'll just put it this way, the cameo by John Lovitz. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you think more stuff was cut out? You think from that?
Yes, his character is the character. I'm pretty sure he's the same person with the shoe, if you know what I mean. In the file. Yeah, if you think, because they're wearing the same exact fucking clothes. And he kind of, and what's his face?
Yeah.
I keep forgetting his name. Nick's something other. He's on Reno 911 and some of the other Sandler films.
Because that shoe bit was hysterical.
I think he's the younger version of Lovitz, and they don't connect those in the film or go into any more of that. So I feel like that Nick Swartzen, thank you. I always forget his damn last name. He's from Minnesota, for fuck's sake, I should. But I probably know people that know him. But yeah, it's just like I drew that connection myself, but I'm like, wait a minute here. I feel like we're missing a chunk of something. Because they don't even.
That was a short. That was a short. It was funny, but it was really freaking short. He's only in it for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, but then when you see but then when it comes back around and you understand what's going on there, because with the part that it's happening to, it's like, okay, so there's something else to this that they left out. Because even that whole bit with the file that we find out what's in the file, That feels like there should be even more of that in the film, and they don't really bring nothing up of it. Nothing ever comes of it. Does that make sense?
Well, they don't even
Yeah.
resolve the plot thread. Nobody ever
Yeah.
finds out that this was even done.
Only Adam Sandler, exactly. Yeah.
It's like I said, it's a little sloppy. I still enjoyed that whole part of the movie, but I mean, I just, it's almost like again, without spoiling it, it's almost like they focused too much on the ridiculousness of the event, and they didn't spend enough time actually focusing on the individual parts of the event.
Agreed. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And that's where I'm saying I feel like some of this got like this probably has like a 2.5 to 3 hour director's cut. Well, and it's not. I
Plus
wouldn't be
the
surprised.
cameos.
Which again, I wouldn't cut. I wouldn't cut anything from the first 2 acts because it was just great front to back. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't want a 2.5 hour cut of this movie necessarily, but at the same time,
Well, and I think there's a precedent for it because both Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison famously have like 20 minutes to a half hour of fucking deleted scenes that are actually available, let alone what we haven't seen. But you were going to say something, Mark?
Well, I was just gonna say, yeah, with all these cameos, so I can imagine like they're not, a lot of them are not actors or golfers. There's got to be a lot of screw ups or cutting room floor stuff or something that's really funny. I mean, I don't want to mention any names because I'm not sure what's I can't remember who's in the trailer, but there's some pretty big name cameos in this movie, and they're freaking hysterical. Versus maybe there's too many flashbacks, but when you realize who some of the characters are, I'm like, that was so was like. Oh yeah, the waiter. I'll just say one of the waiters is someone you might not recognize instantly, but yeah.
Well, then there's only like one cameo I was surprised we
Well-
didn't get, and that's it. And that's his original caddy, and that's an actor who's in all of his movies, and I can't remember his name, but
this
Isn't he in the-
it's not a cameo, but Haley Joel Osment. I didn't realize it at first.
Oh, you didn't realize that was
You
Haley
recognize
Joel?
him?
It
You
took
didn't
me a
see-
minute because
I've seen him in
I'm not
some
used
other
to seeing him,
films, so I
seeing him
recognized him,
being in
yeah.
anything lately. It's like,
Alan Covert, yeah. Unless he's somewhere else in the film, his character did not make. He's like the only cameo that did not make a comeback at all. His original caddy.
Yeah. So they had
actually, surprisingly, I don't think Tim Meadows is, but unless he's somewhere hidden and we didn't know about it. But you were saying, Mark, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, but like Scotty Scheffler's in this, Roy McIlroy. I mean, you've seen that in the trailers. They got like the world's best golfers in this freaking movie,
And pretty much
So
all
it's
the
just-
regulars, right? Like
all the regulars. Yeah, you go back to that dinner they're having. I mentioned Jack Nicklaus, but it's like a who's who of golf having dinner, and they all kind of respect Happy now. He's won the Golden Jacket, and they said he's won the championship so many times. So he did have a nice story, and he ended up being a respected golfer, versus, somebody wanted to play hockey. It's like, could you picture me as a kid? I found out years later, I loved playing hockey growing up. My mom signed me up for figure skating. Now you picture me as an effing figure skater, right? And years later, I found out she didn't want to drive me to hockey practice like 6 a.m. And my sister was doing figure skating like after school. So we both went to the same spot. And like I was figure skating, and the hockey guys are like making fun of you, call F word and this and that. And so I sympathize with Happy Gilmore. I wanted to be a hockey player, but he did a lot better. He ended up playing golf. I ended up figure skating for a couple of years, which was horrendous. I mean, oh my god!
you are basically a movie. You're that movie where that hockey player became the figure skater. What the hell was it called? The Cutting Edge
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, I wish I was that. I wish I was anywhere that good. I ended up playing hockey later, going back to it, but it was never. Then you stop playing for a few years. You're never that good. But yeah, so he has this great arc. This is it's a lot of fun watching this movie. Have a couple beers, or if you don't drink, you don't even need him. It's just a fun movie. And the critics that are killing this, I'm like, get a life. This is a freaking Happy Gilmore movie.
Yeah,
not
and
War
I
and
mean,
Peace.
One of the few complaints I can appreciate, I guess is the word I would use for it, is when people say like they didn't like how they use the alcoholism in some points as humor. But the reason I say I'm fine with it, and this is actually somebody who grew up with a father who's an alcoholic and all that kind of business, and a lot of alcoholic issues in the family, I didn't have a problem with it because at the end of the minor spoiler, by the end of the film, he has become sober, right? Like that to me is what matters most. It'd be different if they were treating it like it didn't doesn't
They
make
didn't treat it as a
difference.
joke. They made that part.
It
was
is
serious.
a joke to a point, but like the way the joke is played out. So like, it is what to me one of the funnier bits in the film. That's not a rehash of something from the original film either. And I'm not going to spoil it for everybody, but some people don't like it. Some people do. I didn't mind it. But I totally understand people who do, if that makes sense. So like, I'm not like going to say anybody's in the wrong or I think they're silly for thinking that.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. It's just I'm also feeling like it's that slippery slope where if you start making those concessions, you lose comedy. You have to be able to make comedy out of these kinds of situations to be able to just freely like have comedy in the first place. Is why we haven't had comedy in years. But again, it's like they're not. It wasn't his superpower. I don't even know if I necessarily would have cared if it was, but I'm glad it wasn't. It was part of the whole plot arc of the movie that, you know, a character is down and he rises back up to the occasion. So not being a drunk was a good thing for him as a character without spoiling anything. And that's, you know, but they were still able to freely just like go hard on the drunken comedy. And it was some of my favorite parts of the movie. Because, I mean, Adam Sandler is definitely a physical actor, if he's anything, and he nailed it when he did it, you know? Just booze everywhere. Well, that's why the
Yeah.
remote doesn't
Yeah.
work.
I love that one. They're blaming on the bad batteries. It's like, yeah, it's got booze and every freaking thing. And then there's one scene where like they're, you know, he won't say what, but it's telling the kids like, check here, check there. Like, really, Dad? But it's true. You know, I had one of my best buds, you know, drank himself to death, and you went to the house and you tried to get him to stop, and people have to want to do it, but there was his wife was finding booze like everywhere, hidden, you know, in all corners of the house, you know, little stashes. And I don't blame anyone, or, you know, it's a tough demon to fight, but it is kind of true too, where you have it hidden everywhere, because it's you know, you got to have it, right? So it's but it was played to kind of a comedic effect too. But I didn't think they were making fun of alcohol. They weren't making fun of alcohol. Like, he wasn't the butt of the jokes. It was like everyone cared about him, was trying to help him. You know, so it was funny.
Yeah, because his actions are completely bad, right? Like, everything he does when he's under the influence is bad. The joke is, and I guess this is going to be minor spoiler, the joke is this, basically, that he hides it, like you said, everywhere he hides it. But the joke is the funny ways he finds to hide it, right? Like, that is the joke. The alcoholism isn't the joke. Yeah. It's the fact that he's hid it in everything, from like the remote control where his daughter goes, well, no wonder it never worked, to the fucking cuckoo clock. And you know, like, I get it.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got John Daly. Like, again, I don't want to spoil. It's like, because those are some of the better moments of the film. And this is why I liked the movie so much. And again, it's not perfect. You guys are 100% right. It's got quite a few issues here and there, but compared to what I expected it to be, and compared to what these type of movies usually are, I guess I'm grading it on a bit of a scale, but I still have to give it like a 7 out of 10, right? Like, it was that enjoyable and fun, and I would watch it again, right? Like, if it was playing in the background, I'm sure I would end up getting sucked into a few scenes that I enjoyed because they were that funny. Yeah, and I'm not somebody who's really been a big fan of Sandler in the last 20, 30 years, although I was a huge fan of his from Saturday Night Live through like Little Nicky, 51st Dates era, basically.
I've been haggling in my head, like, I might even go as high as 8, and yet 8 feels like
like you liked it quite a bit more than most. Yeah.
I really did. Yeah. I mean, the only reason I would kind of pull back to a 7.5 is because I felt it could have used a little bit more polish in some places. But at the same time, there was just so many well executed comedy gold moments throughout the movie that it's like, you know, maybe it just does deserve an 8 rather than a 7 or a 7.5. I couldn't tell you what my actual score is right now.
And that's fair too, right? Like, I mean, I can see it. Because it's an enjoyable film, even though it has some down and serious moments to it. It is, underneath it all, and this is what people keep saying, and this is what they're talking about, it does have a heart, right? And the heart of it is Happy's unit, his family, what he feels like he should be representing as a father, and what his kids expect of him as a father. and what the world expects of Happy Gilmore as a celebrity. So there's all these elements kind of played into it. And that's kind of where it's fun to kind of play with the whole idea of that, you know, Happy Gilmore himself as a character was this famous golfer. Well, he kind of, like we brought up at the initial part of the conversation, he kind of influenced golf at the time and helped popularize it even more than it was, at least to more younger audience, perhaps, like Tiger Woods was doing. And in that, they kind of treat him that way throughout the, like his history in the film, because the movie starts off with a little history clip like the original film does in the same exact fashion. So I thought they did a pretty good job. And this is, I mean, I know Sandler's done some other sequels to like his grown-ups films and some of his Netflix films before this, but this is his first sequel to one of his, what I would consider first era films, right? Like that kind of his original era that ends with like 50 First Dates or whatever, kind of in that area, you know, where before the fall, right? Like, you know, I don't know what movie you would probably put in there as the one that really kind of was the fall off, but I mean, it was somewhere in that region, I would say. But like you have his first 10 or so years of movies, and then you have his next 10 years of movies, and you have his Netflix years, right? So that's kind of where we're at with this. So this is one of his OG era sequels that we've never had any sequels to. And the fact that it turned out like this, I was worried about Billy Madison's sequel because there's talks of that. Now I'm not as worried. Although that one, I'm not so sure what you do with a sequel other than what, Billy Madison Jr.? Like, I don't know. I don't want to see that necessarily. What would you guys want to see if he does do a Billy Madison movie? Although Little Nicky is also supposed to be getting a sequel. That one I could see translating to an easier sequel than I do Billy Madison. But what do you guys think? CC, are you looking forward to those if that's a possibility?
I know we got a super chat about that earlier that I actually kind of liked. It was about, you know, the first movie was about him trying to get through grade school. The sequel could be about him trying to get through like college.
I think that's the thing is somebody brought that up already. I think in one of the making ofs or something they were talking about was like, there was talks of one a couple years ago, but that was the inevitable. And then I think Adam's like, well, I just don't want to do that. I just don't want to do the first movie all over again. Right.
I mean, I guess like the nature of Billy Madison is that he is, well, he's retarded. And well, that doesn't have to just apply to school. It can literally just be Billy Madison 30 years later in his life dealing with anything about life, right? And that could actually you could put a lot of heart into that because the character himself is a great character, and there's a way that character would interact. Yeah.
I mean, there is maybe a way you could do like a Billy Madison Jr., but you got to find somebody who can fill in that shoes really well. And how do you do that while not making Adam's character feel like he's overtaking the new kid? Because I mean, you could kind of do a reversal on the first movie and kind of imply that, you know, now he's become more like his dad was in the first movie, and now his kid's just like Billy was at his age, if that makes sense. So you're kind of stuck in this position of like just basically redoing the first movie. But Gabriel Knight does have a possible way of getting around this, and he sends in $30 to tell us his pitch for Billy Madison 2. The inevitable premise of Billy Madison 2. Billy went to college and flunked out from too much partying. His dad died, but placed all in his inheritance in a trust he can't access unless he goes back to college. Veronica Vaughn becomes a radical feminist who shames Billy and constantly preaches woke messaging. She becomes a lesbian and dumps Billy for a fat woman in a wheelchair. I think the first part is right. I think that's probably that's the most logical way to do that. But at the same time, is why? And what's her face doesn't even act anymore. I just forgot her damn name. I just watched the movie.
The girlfriend or
yeah. She's also in Mortal Kombat. I know her name too, and I'm just blanking on it.
Brigitte Wilson, is that who?
No, it's Bridget something though. Somebody will get it.
I'm trying to remember. I got
Bridget
the
Wilson.
IMDb
Bridget
page up.
Wilson.
Bro, that's my French speaking. That's Brigitte, but sorry.
Brigitte Wilson. Yes.
Brigitte, yeah, Bridget. Bridget
It's
here,
French.
yeah. It's French.
Like any
Francais.
Yeah, I don't know if she'll come
But
back
she's married
at all.
to Pete Sampras now, so she doesn't need to work for money.
I was gonna say she's retired and just raising her kids and whatnot. So from what I know, she hasn't acted in a long ass time. Maybe. And Adam has a way to bring people back too that he can convince them. He's
right?
Seems to have his cadre of regulars. So we'll see. That could be interesting to see what happens there. And like I said, Little Nicky makes more sense. I mean, it's obviously I didn't even like Little Nicky all that much, but I can see where it's easier to kind of come up with another plot twist for that. We'll see if they come up with something good. ActionCom says a museum photo got sent of barbarians in their natural state. Oh, well, let's see what this is all about here. Knowing you. Oh, well. See, it's even unfrosted, which I appreciate. But it's just barbarian.
Vikings don't need sugar.
You might get salmonella or something like that, you know. And then ActionCom says, I just did a seance. Roger Ebert gave the movie thumbs down. He still hasn't come around to Sandler. Oh, no. You know what? It's funny because you brought this up, ActionCom, because I always watch Roger Siskel and Ebert. And sometimes I just have it playing in the background when I'm working on shit because it's like comfort food to me. It's funny enough, a lot of times, Mark, on Sunday nights, that's when I used to watch Siskel and Ebert. So after I'm done on the show with you, that's usually what I'll throw on because it used to be back in my Sunday night routine would be, you know, as soon as I hear the local news ending up or whatever, as I got older, I just kind of watched the news. But as soon as the news was over, then it was Siskel and Ebert, and then followed by either 2 episodes of MASH, and then or it usually was TNG. So.
Well, how did you pick your Siskel and Ebert episodes? Did you have like a randomizer, or you just kind of?
Well, there's a couple channels that just kind of upload them at random, so that's part of it. Sometimes it depends if I'm in a specific mood to hear about a certain movie, or if I'm just put it in random. Yeah, like whatever they're uploading. So it's whatever.
That's
comes
what Netflix.
Up.
That's what Netflix should add to Star Trek. Or now it's Paramount, but like a randomizer, like just play like a random episode of a TV show, because that's what I used to love. Like Channel 11 in New York would play, Star Trek at midnight, and it was a random episode, and you kind of like, it was an alternative factor. You were stuck watching it, but it was kind of nice too to just get those random shows up, and we kind of miss that now with streaming because you just go, everything is linear. But that's pretty cool, to watch an old episode of MASH or random.
Well, if I ever
stuff
get like a server thing set up, a Plex or whatever, like you have, I mainly at least will start with just my TV show stuff. And what I want to do is, I saw this guy, he did this really cool thing. A bunch of the people, not just one, but several of you out there listening are probably in the audience right now, sent me this video about this, and it's so fucking cool. I want to do it so bad because I would love to just have it for the background on my TV. You can actually program it like an old television programming. And you can put in commercials and the whole 9 yards. And depending on the time of the day, it actually shows from what time of that same, like, it's really hard to explain without getting into the whole 9 yards of it. But you can literally flip through channels like you used to be able to flip through regular TV channels. And it's a real time like experience, like you're watching TV.
Is this on Plex, or is this on?
You can use like a Plex server with it, but this guy came up with an app and
to like kind of like an interface basically for it.
Yeah, and you program it, and like you're just flipping through channels, and it'll actually have already been in progress and stuff like that. So like, and you'll get commercials that are of the era and all that kind of stuff in the breaks. And
I love the old commercials that I'm sure you have old VHS tapes you pop in, right? And then you get the old commercials, or like golden.
People do that,
those.
Yeah. I used to, but I don't have shit anymore left for that. But yeah, I might have a couple of random tapes somewhere. But
yeah. But
watching,
like I taped
commercials out too.
I taped all the old, the Batman animated series when it was first on. And then I pop it. I have a VHS still working in the basement. Like, I was converting stuff to digital, and you're watching all the old commercials or for toys or stuff or movies. It's like a time machine. So, sometimes you used to sit there and try to like get rid of the commercials, pause it, so you'd save tape. And, but, or you get lazy, or you weren't home. So you just, recorded the whole show. But
right.
It's really fun to watch those old commercials.
What's funny about that is that's partially how I started learning about programming and how shit worked. Because I got so good at figuring out when the commercials would start and about the time when they were going to end. So I got really good at cutting commercials out. And that's kind of was my lead into a lot of this stuff, into the, the nerdy part of it, because it's like, okay, I know that the first commercial for a TV show is usually at 7 minutes in, or on a movie. If they're showing a movie, if it's a 2-hour movie, it's 20 minutes in. If it's a 2.5-hour movie, it's usually like 24 minutes in. Like, I knew all these things growing up. Now it's like probably 12 minutes in, but like still, like that was the norm. Like I knew all this shit, and I knew generally 9 times out of 10 it was going to come back from a commercial, especially when you got the news guy going, tonight at 10 we'll talk about the Frizzies, you know, and then you knew the show was about to start then, and you would always be able to kick it in just right. And when I was pretty god darn good at it, to the point where I got a flying erase head VCR.
Oh, the
you have
good
to be
one.
an ultimate nerd to know what that is.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know what that is. Yeah.
So I got real good at it.
Yeah, because there was a long delay if you had a crappy VCR, especially. You know,
Well,
the
not just
two
that,
had
you got the
crappy
rainbows.
Yeah, so it would take like 2 or 3 seconds at least, or some of them, you know, before it would start recording. If you pressed, you know, or you'd pause it. Like once you started, you could press pause, and it would be a little bit faster. But yeah, it's not like digital today where it's instant.
Yeah, no, a flying erase head though is basically what they had in most camcorders. It's so you had a clean cut, and like Mark just said, it was more, it was quicker on the draw basically than the old version. Because the regular system, what it would do is when you hit pause, the tape would actually back up like a few seconds, and then it would start. Then when you hit record, there's a delay of like you know, X amount of milliseconds to a second or two.
Mechanical. Yeah, it's mechanical.
Yeah, because it's mechanical. So then also not only do you get that delay, you also get what's called the ribbon effect or the rainbow effect, because it's recording over something they just recorded on. So there's like this strange kind of interference that you get in the tape. Well, that's what a flying erase head would eliminate all that shit. So yeah. Yeah. And they were not cheap, as Mark was just pointing out. And I had one of the few that you could get on the market for the home. And it was Sony who put one of them out. And it was mostly one of the most expensive fucking VCRs at the time. Although it wasn't probably nearly as much as the original VCRs were. But they only had two models that had the flying erase head, and I got the lesser of the 2 models. So yeah. And the only difference was the S video. That was it.
S video, yeah.
Yep, that was it.
Well, who knows what S video is out here? Yeah.
Well, we did, but fortunately my buddy who got he had gotten the more expensive one first. And so I seen all the ins and outs of it, and I noticed how he didn't really use S video and how it didn't really improve anything. And unless you had actual S video tapes, it didn't fucking matter.
Didn't matter, yeah.
Yeah, you could record shit in S video, but unless you had something that was an actual S video signal, it would just be whatever. You know,
and to explain that for everyone, that was a separate video signal, because it would separate the video out. So before you would have one cable that was video, and it was like the yellow cable, right? Just the
now
RCA
that we've gotten
cable.
Uber nerdy, yeah,
yeah. So it was a better picture, yeah. With that S video cable, super video, but it's so primitive now. It's hysterical.
Yeah. So anyhow, now that we've gone through some nerd garbage, let's keep moving on here. We got Jason Webster, who sends in a $5 Australian super chat and says, K-drama Squid Games 3. That's going to be a big one for Netflix. The Trauma Code, Heroes on Call, and that's another one I've heard of already a few times now. And When Life Gives You Tangerines have been very, very successful. Good year for Netflix. Yeah. Oh, that's why I've heard of them all. There, you just answered my question. Go One for One, number 6, sends in 50 more Mexican dollars to say, I miss 90s American Chinese movie era, like Rush Hour. We never get something like Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan again, or some John Woo movies. Well, they're trying to get a Rush Hour 4 made, and they better do it soon before Jackie gets any older, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get an era of a comeback of the action comedy. I know the new Eddie Murphy movie, even though I fucking hate Pete Davidson. That's where that interview that we played the clip from earlier comes from, is he was talking about his new movie with Pete Davidson. He's got a new action comedy, Eddie Murphy does, with Pete Davidson coming out. So maybe if it does well, might make the franchise, that type of genre, I should say, not franchise, could make a comeback. But Jason Webster sends in a 23-month member chat to say, I went to a boxing match and hockey game broke out. That's funny. That's something sounds like Happy Gilmore would say. But all right, so there was one other little bit of news here that has been making the rounds. Six also sent this to me, so thank you, Six. But I saw this as well. The Gremlins 3 script is apparently just waiting for Steven Spielberg to read and approve it, says Zach Galligan. And this also made the rounds yesterday, I believe. So
Modern
yeah,
Steven Spielberg.
as I kind of keep pointing out to people, development doesn't mean shit. It still has to go through a lot of places to get greenlit. So yeah. Let me put it this way: I've been hearing more about Goonies 2 than I have been about Gremlins 3. But go ahead, sorry, CC.
I think Catch Me If You Can was maybe like the last Steven Spielberg movie I actually really liked.
I'm about there with you.
Back in the Terminal, I actually like the Terminal, but I mean, I can't think of anything recently in Steven Spielberg that gives me confidence.
He would just be a producer anyway. I would think they're probably going to try and get Joe Dante back to direct or give it to Chris Columbus because I think he wrote the script. So,
all right. I mean,
and for those who don't know who Chris Columbus is, he wrote the original movie and he directed shit like Harry Potter and stuff like that.
You know how I am about CGI. They damn well better use practical effects for this.
That was what Chris had said initially, and I think that's why I think he's also writing and directing. If they haven't tapped Dante already, because they've pretty much confirmed they will use, and it sounds like it's going to be a sequel, not a remake or anything like that. So I'm pessimistic because Gremlins is one of my favorites. Gremlins 2 is one of those rare sequels that either is as good as, or in some ways, the only way I can say it doesn't really top the originals because you need the original to make it work. But I don't know. I just don't know if I knew, and as it says here, due to the success of Beetlejuice, I said, yeah, that's the only reason I think this and Goonies 2 have any chance right now of happening because they're some of Warner's biggest sellers on video. Mark, I mean, you grew up in the era of Gremlins and Goonies and whatnot, so are you excited to see another Gremlins movie, or are you still BRB? I think he's still BRB.
Might be.
Yeah.
I just my sentiment of all movies that really should actually embrace the opportunity to go low budget. I mean, it's only low budget's relative, but like actually get puppets on screen in physical sets in a small space where you can actually see the physical fibers on the puppet, and just lean into a more simplistic approach than all this modern CGI bombastic crap. This would be a good opportunity. You can make this movie on a small budget, and it can be great. It's like I don't need them to.
Yeah, I doubt Zach Galligan's going to demand a very high salary, but are you able to get Phoebe Cates to come out of retirement? That's going to be the big question. Because Zach's already done that commercial. Did you guys see that commercial they did a couple of years back for Mountain Dew?
No. Unless it was a Super Bowl commercial. Those are the only commercials I really watch anymore. Even that I don't really watch.
Yeah, it was
anymore.
a Super Bowl commercial.
Maybe I did, but I can't remember it.
Here's a reminder while we're waiting for Mark.
What about the pineapple? Want to try some of my Mountain Dew Zero Sugar? Try. It is tasty. And just as good as the original, but without any sugar. Be careful.
He's not careful.
What?
Hey, Dad, Mom wants.
I mean, it's still CGI, but at least
there was some CGI, but there was puppets mostly.
Yeah, it's leaning into it the right way.
The daughter with the one was kind of weird, though. Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Of course, they got to have an emo daughter. I hope that doesn't carry over to the third film. I hope that's just for the commercial. So yeah, well, we'll see what comes of it.
It's a commercial, so I'm not necessarily going to relate that to however the movie would turn out.
No, I thought it was funny.
I just, I need something that's a little too clean and glossy, Heck, I'm off that in general, but I mean, you take any franchise that's literally made to be physical like that, and it'll expose it all the much more. Heck, I mean, shit, I can go on, but even Jurassic Park is like, fuck, man, you did it right the first time. I like Jurassic Park 3. I actually do. And I mean, I'm not a big JJ fan, but he did a couple of things that were decent. just, it's like in that first movie, you watch the extras and the making of the original Jurassic Park, and they had to literally build the dinosaurs. Imagine that, right? Like literally physically build them to be animatronics, and they used a little CGI. That's fine, right? But there's a reason that movie still looks better than any of its sequels. I can rant.
Are you
but I
talking about
sta-
Jurassic
but
Park
I'm-
3, or which one are you talking about?
Oh, the first one. The
Oh,
first one, because
yeah.
they actually used animatronics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the uncanny valley. Like, I don't mind watching a computer animated film that's actually made to be computer animated, or if you're doing some kind of art project, where it's like, what was it, something about tomorrow? I can't remember what the name of that movie was, but but I mean, like, we can tell the difference between an actual object that is in the lens of the camera versus something that's not actually there.
Yeah.
You can tell, and whether you're
Absolutely.
thinking about it or consciously or not. It's like when I originally saw the Lion King in 1994. This is not CGI; I was just animated, but just another take on the point. Like when I remember, I was 10 years old at the time. My parents, when we got to that movie, it's like I forgot I was watching an animated film, right? Because that was hand animated, frame for frame, and they based it on, and they actually put in the work, and they based it on how animals actually moved, and they tried to make the animals believable. The lions, how they studied. That was in the extras of that film. They studied how lions acted in reality and tried to animate that, and then give it what animation can give. I'm going on a little bit, but like I miss that effort. I miss fucking effort. It's like everything's just so fucking lazy nowadays. So
Yeah.
and I appreciated that about Happy Gilmore too, just the same. I felt like a bit of a callback to old comedy, and that's why I said it's like I'm hopeful that we're through the shit now, and that we're starting to come back to some good stuff. We'll see. We'll see if the Naked Gun is actually any good. We'll see if Spinal Tap 2 is any good.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like sometimes you can't fake it, right? That trailer is way too fucking good to not be representative of what's probably going to be a good movie.
And Gabriel Knight says Gremlins theme is criminally underrated. I agree. I do agree. Jerry Goldsmith is great. I miss fucking effort. Usually it's the other way around, you believe it or not, but yeah.
If you can find someone who's low effort,
what the fuck they're doing.
With that, I don't know if Mark's going to make it back before we get out of here. His wife just got home, so he had to go check in with the wifey poo. But check out Mark's channel. Every Sunday he does a stream where I usually pop in, and he does some other things from time to time, like live streams and whatnot. CC, anything coming up that you want to plug?
No, just my friend. But
Hell.
I'm working on the channel. I'm working on the channel as usual. That's pretty much where I'm at right now. No, that's it. Might watch some One Piece. Might play some video games. It's the usual.
All right. Well, with it, I don't think there's any Toxic Tuesday tonight. So wherever I lead you to, hopefully you enjoy it. Other than that, I will be on the morning show tomorrow, of course. And check out my video I dropped earlier today. And with that, take care of yourselves and each other, and we will see you later. Bye.
Cute kitty.
Available now for the first time ever on DVD from Midnight's Edge After Dark Productions. It's My Two Dads, the complete first season starring Mexican Iron Man Tom Connors and Culture Casino. Available now for $19.99 while supplies last.